together with Earle Sports Bets. Yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. I'm joined here as always by my brother Tim. And today we got a decent NHL card after only 2 games last night. We get a decent amount of games. I've already moved on 4 of them. So I actually am coming into the show with more than just free pick video bets.
Wow.
I'm kind of curious to see how those are. That one hasn't moved. That one really hasn't moved. That one's moved a couple cents in my favor, and that one's moved a few cents in my favor. All right. So I already have 4 plays that I've locked in that I like for tonight for hockey. So we'll get into that after the NBA. There's 5 games in the NBA. So we will get into all that. But before we do that, quick recap of yesterday. It started off poorly, got a little bit better at the end of the night, but still not a good day for me. 3-5, so I mean it could have been better. San Antonio, they were doing pretty well in the first half. They were up 12 points at halftime, and they lost the game by 14. Yeah, just a complete no-show in the second half for the San Antonio Spurs. That was a loser there. Orlando and Milwaukee under 211.5. Orlando puts up 93 points. The game still goes over the total. That was frustrating there. The Mavericks minus 130. They lose 119 to 116. So NBA was just not my night. The under 221 between Charlotte and Utah loses with a couple minutes left. That finished 117-112. I did get the Houston Rockets. That was a nice little 20-point winner there for Houston.
Did you see the injury report?
No.
No Joker, no Gordon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I split on my double up. I somehow split on the double up because I lost the first half with the Lakers minus 2.5. They were down 12 at halftime, and they won the game by 9, and they covered. So there's that. I forgot to put in college basketball plays yesterday into my Cappertek, so I don't have any of those to recap. I had 1 play and 1 play only in the NHL. Oilers minus 1. I thought I was going to be screwed because I got that when the money line was minus 155, and I think the puck line was plus 150 or something like that. And that line went all the way up to minus 225 for the Edmonton Oilers. They still win. They still cover. That was nice there. Totally no controversies at all in that game of like a McDavid penalty or anything like that. Or no call on a penalty or should have been a whatever. But yeah, overall, not a great night last night, but very low volume, so it didn't hurt that much.
We'll quickly start off by looking at what the site did yesterday, Nick. Site was profitable. Up 1.6 units yesterday, which is nice to see. Tell Sydney her catamounts suck. Plus 3.5. They lose by 16 to VMI. Our late edition of Army was down 9 at halftime. They ended up winning outright, which was good to see. They ended up winning in the second half. Stanford fell apart in the second half. That one sucked. The over in the Knicks game was a never in doubter. Totally didn't need overtime to hit that over at all. I don't know what you're talking about. The first time this year, Nick, that we put up a total in college basketball. The under in the Kansas game cashes. Under 144.5. Kansas has a over-under record of 1-15. So keep an eye on that one. The only game they went over was their second game of the year against UNC. Oakland, nice winner there, minus 9.5. Unfortunately, the Bulls don't really get anything rolling against the Hawks, and that over couldn't get there. The Magic, we're not going to talk about. The over in the Nuggets game. I got over 231.5. After all the injuries, it dropped to 224. It did not matter. It finished at 236. So nice winner there. And then Perdukin was down 8 at halftime. Won the second half by 19. So definitely happy with how that one went. Up 1.6 units. Try to string together a couple winning days in a row, Nick.
Yep. But head over to the chat, and then we will get into today's card.
Can we mention one thing real quick? And then I end up asking you about it. That hat trick goal by McLeod was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
And the Sabres made history too last night.
Yeah, they were the first team to score a goal without making a shot or recording a shot
in a period. Yep.
But no, that one tripped me up so much because I didn't know that was an actual thing, and I watched that replay about 50 times. Being like, the puck never went in. The puck never went. The puck still didn't go in. I don't know what you're talking about. The puck never went in. And then I asked the chat, and they're like, "Yeah, it's like goaltending." I'm like, "Heard."
Because it was if there was a goalie in the net for that would have been a penalty shot.
Got it.
But empty net, no penalty shot, automatic goal.
Heard. That's good to know. I did not know that before the game, so that's interesting. There you go. How about them Clippers? 59-point win. Jesus Christ.
They do play today.
That's got to be a fade of. That's got to be back in whoever they're facing, right?
Yep, exactly.
I don't think I've ever seen a team score 67 points in the game. Hey Nick, do you want to go through the chat real quick and I can figure that out?
I guess.
Let's see. Lowest scoring game with 49 points. 1999, April 10th, it was a 82-49 game versus the Miami Heat. The second lowest was on November 16th, 2002. The Nuggets scored 53 points against the Pistons. Keep in mind, that was during there's a lot of low-scoring games. But 49 points. So the 67 wasn't even in the top 25. Oh, hold on. Johnny's calling me real quick from Costco. Be right back.
No. Oh, okay. Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo. Reds to win the division plus 500 now. Ooh, and plus 250. Now, I've got way too many futures I like on the Cincinnati Reds this year. Because there's, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different futures I'm interested in having some type of sprinkle on. I will be on over their win total. That I will be on their over win total. I'll probably split half a unit each between make the playoffs and win the division at plus 250, plus 500, and probably either 10th of a unit plays or very, very small plays for some player futures. Ellie De La Cruz MVP and Hunter Green Cy Young. That would be the way I would like to approach the Reds, is bigger bets on win total, split bets on playoffs and division, and then small sprinkles on MVP, Ellie De La Cruz, and Hunter Green Cy Young. That would be the way I would like to approach the Cincinnati Reds. I still have a little bit of time to 100% come up with my plan for betting futures. But with that being said, that's how I think I'm going to approach the Reds. What's good, Nicholas? Andy? Canes gave up that game starting Tokarski. Yeah, a little bit. Definitely in the 70s or 80s or 90s. Yep. Ready for the Maine Black Cocaine Bears. There you go. Let's get it started, though. We have the Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons. We have the Pistons 2.5. Now I'm starting to see some threes out there. With the total of 227.5. I'm seeing some 228s pop up now. I'd open up -1 for the Detroit Pistons. We're now seeing minus 2.5 and 3s. So we have a move towards Detroit. Line open up 227.5. It's now 228. So we do have a move towards the over as well. And it looks like Action Network's having me log in. Let me quickly do that. So I can do that. So I can get all the correct information up for the cash flow for this game. This will load sometime today. That'd be cool. Let's quickly look at what we've done as of late because I got my covers up now. The Pistons have been a little nice. And they're 21-18-1 ATS this year. Indiana, half game better. There we go. This internet sucks. 22-19, 20-20-1 ATS. The Indiana Pacers, 11-12 on the road. They're coming in off of back-to-back games against the Cleveland Cavaliers, where they split out. They won by 15, then they lost by 10. We were on the Caps in that second game. On the flip side, we have the Detroit Pistons coming in off of a nice underdog win. They were 8-point dogs in New York, and they won 124-119. We were on the Pistons in that game. No spot week. 60 tickets, 58% of the cash is coming in on the Pacers. The line's moving away from them. 86% of tickets, 89% of cash is on the over here as well. I'm kind of interested in Detroit. Indiana seems like a little bit of a public favorite. The line moving against them. Now the ultimate question is, do we think we've missed our line with it now being 3? And I'm seeing some 3.5s pop up. If I can get a 2.5 with Detroit, I'm kind of interested with the Pistons in this game. And I can get 2.5. It's over on when it loads. There we go. FanDuel has a 2.5 at -110. ESPN bet has a 2.5 -115. Sign me up. Give me some Detroit at the 2.5 number here in this one on FanDuel. Detroit -2.5 -110. Maine/NJIT under 131. There you go. Lines are up for DK for MLB. Yes, I'm going to be diving more into those as we go forward. Bizarre hat trick from McLeod. Yes. Welcome, Tim. Detroit, Indiana. Go for it.
All right. You got the Detroit Pistons, who have been playing some good basketball as of late. They've been a team that I've been kind of riding and kind of making me some money. They're coming off of a nice 5-point win as an 8-point dog. And they've just been a kind of a team that I've been backing a bunch. Indiana has also been playing some good basketball as of late. They split the head-to-head versus the Cavaliers, which fine, perfect. That's okay by them. Previous to that loss against Cleveland in their last game, they had 6 straight wins. So these are two teams that are coming in really hot right now. I would lean towards Detroit, minus the points. But I don't feel like either one of these teams are a team I want to be fading right now.
Yeah, maybe I took Detroit -2.5 for this game.
It would be Detroit or nothing. So I don't hate that option.
All right. Back to the chat. I'm getting all right. Perfect, Coyote. I just wanted to make sure that was the correct number so I wasn't sending it to the wrong spot. That's the last thing I want to do is send money to the wrong spot, and it costs me more money.
Right.
Right, cool. Back to the chat then when I do that.
That was all the chat. So.
Oh, okay. Then we'll move on to the next one. The Phoenix Suns and the Washington Wizards. The Suns are 11-point road favorites, so we're starting to see 11.5s pop up. Line open up at a 236. It's all the way down to a 231.5. So a big move towards this under and a slight move toward but this line opened up at an 11.5. It's bounced back and forth between 11.5, 11, and we saw some 10.5 and 10s. but it's back to 11.5. So really no line movement there. We have 55% of tickets, 57% of the cashes on the Phoenix Suns in this game, and then 60% of tickets, 55% of the cashes on the over in this one as well. Line really not moving there. The line plummeting there total wise. I think if you like the under, you've missed your line a little bit because we have seen this Washington Wizards team be a little bit more low scoring as of late. But all of a sudden the team total overs against them have cashed in 3 in a row. They gave up 138 to Chicago, 136 to OKC, and 120 to Minnesota. So they've had 3 straight games where I believe the team total over against them has cashed. We have Phoenix coming in off of a loss as 2.5-point favorites against Atlanta. Maybe this is a good get right spot for Phoenix. Am I laying 11.5 with them? No. Am I looking at maybe a team total over for Phoenix with the way that this line is plummeting a little bit? So this would be Phoenix team total over, nothing for me.
What do you mean the line's plummeting? What did it open at?
It opened up at a 236 according to.
Oh no, sorry, spread. Spread.
Oh, spread. It opened up at 11.5. It went from 11.5 to 11 to 10.5 to 10, back to a 10.5, back to 10, back to 10.5, 11, and 11.5. So it's had a little U-shaped line movement.
All right, talk me off the Wizards.
I have absolutely no interest in the Wizards. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games, 4-6 ATS. We have Phoenix off of a loss, which I think that could be a nice little bounce back spot against a really bad. Now, I'm not saying that Phoenix is automatically going to cover. That's why I would lean their team total over rather than the spread for that, because I see this as a game where I wouldn't be shocked to see Phoenix put up 125 points. The question is, can Washington do enough to keep pace?
All right. I want to take the Wizards here. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't think the Suns should be this big of a favorite ever, especially on the road. Yes, I know they're against the Wizards, but this is a Suns team that's been very underwhelming this year, to say the least. And I think they continue to kind of not be that top echelon team that they think they are. I think there's value here with the Wizards. So I'm going to take Wizards plus 11.5 as my first NBA play today.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm just... All right, we're good.
You're good. I was just sending over something.
Have you read the White Sox playoff things? They're going. That's going into the White Sox winning their division. Damn it, dude! I would have taken your action on that one. $50 gets you $14K. I probably won't do it. Just give $50 to the right. Yeah. No, please don't give your prize.
No, I would put the $50 on their over win total. I promise you, when we talk AL Central, the Chicago White Sox over their win total, as disgusting and as sweaty as that going to be, as we're going to be watching them, we're going to be watching a 50 and 111 team on game 162 and be rooting the hell out of it for them to hit that 50-second win.
Right.
Here's the thing. They can lose 110 games and still cash their over win total.
That's crazy.
Let me say that again. They can lose 110 games and still cash their over win total. Yep. Also a little bit of baseball news. The Brewers just tweeted out that Bob Uecker passed away at the age of 90. Former baseball or Brewers icon and baseball Hall of Famer Bob Uecker at 90.
Don't the Suns have a double-digit ATS spread record?
It's terrible.
They're not good. They are not good. By the way, Nick, I wanted to take a little bit of action in the early game between Maine and NJIT.
Oh, good God.
I took the over. Okay. Only value way to bet it is Wiz money line. Could see that. Wizards first quarter. So I'll have 1,050 on the win total.
Hell yeah. There you go.
52 and 110.
And here's the thing, if they're 51 and 110, we're doing a live watch along for that game.
Oh dear God, Nick, you're disgusting. LA to win MVP. That's not a bad option.
I mentioned that because he was talking about the Reds earlier in the comments there when you had the phone call, and he put out the Reds to win the division at 5-1 and make the playoffs at plus 250. I said I'm going to split a half unit each between those. I had planned on doing that. I'm going to have the Reds over their win total, and I'm going to have small sprinkles, either a tenth of a unit or a quarter unit on Ellie to win the MVP and Hunter Green to win the Cy Young.
I don't hate that.
And we'll talk more about that when we get into future shows, because we don't do they have they do have player seasons, but our regular season leaders? No, that's team futures. They don't have player futures yet. But yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll have a whole entire show for that. So
yeah, we'll have a whole show for the AL Central, NL Central, NL East, NL West. Every division gets their own show. So we can kind of touch, and those will probably be 1.5, 2-hour shows. To be completely honest, those will be longer shows because I am going to have a lot of prep for all of them. Because I'm going to have probably a lot of money in futures this year. So let's get into it. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder 1.5 point favorites with a total of 232 in this game. Interesting line movement in this one. Makes me think there's maybe an injury to deal with. This line opened up at a 4, and it's just come creeping down from a 4. It first went up to a 5, but then went back down to a 4, 3.5, 3, 2.5, back up to a 3, 2.5, 2, 1.5 now. All of a sudden, it's just been a pretty decent move towards the Thunder, or towards the Cavaliers.
No Hardenstein.
No Hardenstein. Okay. Line opened up at a 234. It's down to a 233. Is Hardenstein really worth 2.5 points though?
I mean, he's one of the big men, and when you still don't have Chet, then yeah.
Yeah, 45% of tickets, 56% of cash on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Line's moving towards them. With 25% of tickets, 72% of cash on them. 85% of tickets, 86% of the cash is on the over here as well. I know our intentions were to back the Oklahoma City Thunder in this game after they lost to this Cleveland team, 8 days ago. I just can't do it. It's just the market is telling me don't. And this Cleveland Cavaliers team, I still think is the best team in basketball at the moment. And Oklahoma City could very well win this game. I'm not saying they can't. They are -1.5, -125 money line for it. At this, I mean, maybe you can make the argument you missed your line if you want to back the Thunder, because you could have gotten +3.5, +3 earlier, and now we're talking about probably just having the money line it. But I can only look towards the Cavaliers in this game. The more and more I look at it, and I get it, it's the recent revenge. But usually the recent revenge kind of syncs up with a line movement there. And I get it. Maybe you can make the argument that you fade the injury report, but it feels like it has to be more than just Harvenstein if it's moved 2.5 points.
That's just the only injury. That's the only one that hasn't been already out. So
interesting. That's enough to keep me off this game, really. And I think the ultimate argument, the alternative argument you can make is that now there's value on OKC, and then you can just money line them.
Yep.
But not a play for me.
I already established that I was going to do this like a week ago on the 8th. So 8 days ago, I kind of said it that I was going to do it this way because I took Cleveland at home, and then I'm taking OKC at home. These are the two best teams in the league, and I think they split. And now I was able to get a -125 money line for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I think I mean, obviously there's have you seen what Oklahoma City's been doing, Nick? Their only loss since December 1st, since losing to Houston on December 1st, their only loss since then was to Cleveland, in Cleveland. Oh, not to mention they haven't had Chet Holmgren in for like a month now, and they keep winning. Oklahoma City is going to win the NBA Finals. This is going to be your. I know this is a bold take because they're both favorites. These are going to be your two teams in the NBA Finals. As much as I want to see my Nuggets in there, these are going to be your two teams. I have 17-1 on Cleveland, so I'm ready. I'm ready to roll with them to make it to the finals in a very weak Eastern Conference. But I am going to be on the Thunder here. I established that earlier. So Thunder, I got their money line at -125.
Fair.
Cavs. Dean Wade over 5.5 points. Screaming Eagles. Yes, Screaming Eagles today. I agree with that one. Little pricey. I got 125. So is it weird? I like Boston. Red Sox look good. I don't know how much, but
I cannot wait to talk about the Boston Red Sox.
I think the Boston Red Sox will be at least.
I think so as well. I'm going to be on some Boston futures. I believe their rotation looks kind of filthy. Now with their top three with Garrett Crochet, with Walker Buehler, and I can't believe Nick Pivetta didn't take the qualifying offer from them. I don't. But like they got some. I mean, Brian Bayo could take I think it's going to take a step up. And then they have some of the most exciting prospects in all of baseball. With Tanner Houck. That was the other guy I was forgetting. But they have some of the better prospects in baseball with Roman Anthony, with Christian Campbell. Like they have some really intriguing prospects coming up, and that's not even including. I mean, Tristan Costas hasn't really reached his full potential yet. Yoshida really hasn't reached his full potential yet. I think they really found something with Jarren Duran last year as well. He's going to be really strong in the outfield. Like this is a fun Boston Red Sox team that I think we really should look at this year.
Yeah, I +4. Yeah, I'm a big Orioles guy. I think Boston.
I am not this year.
I still think the Orioles are gonna be good because they still have a lot of young talent. But
see, the Orioles are a big wild card for me. They're a big question mark for me because I think the floor for the ceiling for the Orioles is they win the division. I think the floor is they finish last.
I don't think they finish last in the division. They're still the Toronto Blue Jays, and I still think Tampa's going to have is not.
I was kind of looking at the roster for Toronto, and I mean, it could get to 84 wins. The Blue Jays.
I don't see it. Yeah. It's to miss playoffs. I don't think they miss the playoffs.
I think the only
American League's not strong enough.
Here, want to hear how the Orioles missed the playoffs? The Red Sox take this step up, and they can steal their spot. You see the Rays healthy. I mean, just look at the Rays on paper still look disgusting, other than their hitting. Their bats can use a little help, but still they got some nice prospects like Junior Caminario that's going to be really strong this year. That we're finally going to see him play some big league action. We saw a little bit last year, but this will be his first full year. That's somebody to look at for the Rookie of the Year if you're looking in the AL. But like you see teams like Detroit continue to stay where they are, Cleveland stay where they are, Kansas City stay where they are, Texas could take a step up. So there's teams that could steal the Orioles spot, and that rotation for the Orioles is scary, bad.
I agree, but I still think that the Orioles are a playoff team. +220 for them to miss. I don't know if I could do that. Let's keep rolling.
Yeah. But I would actually lean more towards the Orioles missing the playoffs than to win their own division. That would be kind of.
That's.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Let's keep it going, though. Sacramento Kings and Houston Rockets. This is an interesting line. This is now a 4.5 for the Sacramento Kings. Line opened up at 3, got up to a 3.5, 4.5 now. Line opened up to 27.5, down to a 225.5. Move towards the under, a move towards these Sacramento Kings. with 65% of the tickets and 53% of cash on the Rockets. Now, I was on the Rockets last night. It's the second half of the back-to-back. You're going from Denver to Sacramento. So not a good spot here for these Houston Rockets. And as high as I am on the Rockets, I could see this as a game where they don't get the job done. And now the question is, can you trust the Sacramento Kings, which I believe the Kings have been playing a little bit better as of late. They lost last game. I faded them last game. They're coming in off of a 15-point loss against the Milwaukee Bucks. This is their first game back at home, though, after a 3-game road trip. They beat Boston and Chicago, and they lost to the Bucks. That was a kind of a bad loss, though. We have the Houston Rockets coming in, second night of a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights, off of very satisfying wins against Denver and Memphis in their last 2 games. They've won 5 in a row, the Houston Rockets. Am I crazy to want to lay the points here with the Sacramento Kings? I can get 3.5 minus 115 over on ESPN Bet. Sign me up here. Give me Sacramento in this one here. I think this is a tricky spot for the Houston Rockets. As much as I am a pro Rockets person, I think this is a good spot for the Kings coming in off of an embarrassing loss. You have Houston coming in on a bad scheduling spot with some very satisfying wins the last few games. Minus 3.5, minus 115 over on ESPN Bet for me.
I'm right there with you, Nick. I'm already on the Kings. I got 3.5. It's always difficult to play back-to-back, not to mention when the back-to-back's first leg is in Denver. Granted, they had that game kind of secured the entire time, so they got to probably sit a couple of starters. I didn't really look, but I feel like they got to sit a couple of starters towards the end of the game, just knowing that they had a back-to-back. But at the same time, this is definitely a bad spot for the Rockets on a second leg of a back-to-back, and against a Kings team that has been playing better basketball as of late. Yes, they are coming off of a bad loss. Previous to that, though, they'd won 7 straight. So this is a Kings team that's finally showing their true colors of a team that I feel like could be a little bit of a dark horse in the West if they can get their act together. And I want to be going after the Kings in this one. I'm high on this Kings team, so Kings, I got it 3.5. And Johnny's calling me again. Sorry, there's something going on at work.
Jesus.
Hold on. Yeah, I know.
All right. We'll head back to the chat if there is any. KC to win the division 4-1. I still don't think Cleveland takes that much of a step back, though. That's the one thing, is I still think the Guardians are going to be a solid team. I like what the Guardians have, and I think they're still getting criminally underrated, the Cleveland Guardians. The Royals are a nice sneak. If you're looking for scores, yeah, I won't talk you off of that. If you're looking to take a few bigger division winners and you're like, okay, I'm going to grab some Cincinnati 5-1. I'm going to grab some Boston 475. KC is another team where if you're looking for a little bit of a bang for your buck, yeah, I can see them as the team that can dethrone the Cleveland Guardians off the top of that division. I do. So there is that. And I think that's a solid look. I personally probably won't be on this because I still like what Cleveland has to offer. And I do think they're getting underrated again. And I think they can take a step. I think there's a few players for them that can take a step up that struggled last year. Players like Gavin Williams and things like that. I like Tanner Bybee. That bullpen's still the best in baseball. So there's that. Young Rockets team, they just stay focused on passing. Fair. I'm not doing it. I was just saying it's big plus money. Yeah, no, I have no problem with taking some big plus money. And when it comes to futures, I will have some of those. Those will probably be the half unit shots for me. But yeah. I'll be starting to develop my futures here over the next couple weeks for the show. For the shows. Michi Wolverines -10 for the stomp down of the Gophers. Let's see what we have for that. I started putting together the spreadsheets for the next 2 days because there's 140 something games on Saturday. Michigan. I could type in Michigan. We have that game at an 11 and a half range. I'll do my MLB futures once all books give it out. Yes. Once you do them, I'll start. I can't wait to talk baseball for the shows. Those are gonna be great 1.5 to 2 hour shows. Can't wait. Yep. Cover the Pacers game yet? Yes. Yes, we did. I am on the Detroit Pistons at -2.5, -110. Final game of the NBA card: Portland Trail Blazers and LA Clippers. We have the Clippers 6.5 point road favorites, total 221 in this game. Line opened up at a 5, late 9:30ish last night. After the game ended, it reopened up at a 6. Now we're seeing 6.5 for the LA Clippers. Line opened up to 220.5. Reopened up at a 222. It's now 219.5. So move towards the under in this game as well. We have 79% of tickets, 83% of cash on the Clippers. The line's moving slightly towards them from a 6 to a 6.5. 85% of tickets, 83% of cash is on the over in this game as well. We have the LA Clippers coming in off of just a dominating performance last night. They won that game. Yes, that's not a typo. 126-67. What? That's nuts. Now, granted, they were 15-point favorites. And get this, Tim, ready? The game was tied after the first quarter.
Yeah.
37-14 in the second quarter, 44-16 in the third quarter, 24-16 in the fourth quarter. Just an absolute no-show from the Brooklyn Nets. So that was interesting there. We have Portland coming in off of 3 straight losses, including losing to the Brooklyn Nets in their last game, 132-114 as 3.5 point favorites. I mean, this might be the ugliest play in like a very, very long time, but why are we not on the Portland Trailblazers in this game?
All right, fine. This has got man, for a 5-game card, I'm going to be on like almost every single game. No, after as big of a win, you always fade that team. I can get 7 points with the Blazers. Just disgusting. Because I'm not saying that the Portland Trailblazers are better than the Clippers at all. That's it. It's more of a this is how I fade. So it's kind of just a batshit crazy line. Clippers off of a big win. Yeah, I'm gonna fade them here. So give me the Blazers +7.
Yeah. Okay. Can you feel any more short, fat, and happy than after a 59-point win? Especially going on the road and playing a team like the Trailblazers.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't shock me to see the Blazers win this game outright.
It would not. It would not at all. Not even in the slightest.
Disgusting. Over on DraftKings, I got +7 at -112. So +7 -112 with the Portland Trailblazers.
Clips beat the Nets by 59. Nets beat Trailblazers by 18. And Trailblazers last game, surely the Clips beat Tampa Bay by 7, right? No way they lose.
No way.
I know you guys fade big blowouts, but I'm not a believer in that type of thing at all.
Fair.
Okay. Blazers +7. Let's do it. All right, Nick, off to Hockey World.
Yeah, I've already moved on 4 games. The first one's in a couple, so we still have a minute before I get to the games I've already moved on. The Detroit Red Wings are taking on the Florida Panthers. The Panthers -215 favorites in this game with a total of 6. Panthers coming in off of a win. They beat the New Jersey Devils in their last game in overtime. I believe that was a 3-2 game or 2-1 game. And we have the Detroit Pistons. Wrong sport, Nick. We have the Detroit Red Wings coming in off of a loss to the mighty San Jose Sharks. And For me in this game, I have not moved on anything yet. My projections have the Panthers as favorites, but more along the lines of 130 minus 135 range. I want the Red Wings in this game. You have the Red Wings coming in. They had their big winning streak snapped against a very lowly, or not a low, a lowly San Jose Sharks team, like with not Askarov in net. So that was interesting as well. It wasn't even the better of the two goalies that the Sharks had in. It was yeah. And we have Florida coming in off of a nice win, which did snap a 2-game losing streak for them against Boston and against Philly. The Panthers don't wow me right now. I don't know what it is. The Panthers are now they're 26-16-3. They're second in the Atlantic. They're still a good team. Don't get my words twisted. And their advanced metrics are still above average. I just don't think they should be minus 250 in this game. I'm starting to see now over on BetMGM. I think this line's gone too far, and I think this is a good get right spot here for the Detroit Red Wings. So I want to take the Red Wings in this game, and I'm probably going to get a nice big dog price, which I like another big dog later on the slate. And I'll go ahead and take another big dog here. I'm going to get involved with the Red Wings, especially plus 205 over on Bovada.
All right, friends never talk friends off of big plus money, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not personally gonna go after this one. I agree. Florida hasn't been obviously they've lost 3 out of 5, so they haven't been that dominant team that we know from their cup run last year. They're still a good team. We're not saying that they're not. Detroit's been on like a nice run. They finally got their winning streak snapped, but 7 in a row. They look good right now. That being said, I'm not touching either side here. How about like an over in this game? I feel like this game could be a high-scoring, back-and-forth type of game. Obviously, I don't really bet totals in NHL unless I'm going to go alternative. Maybe you can get a decent line on like an over 7 in this game. Because when I bet hockey, I want to get some nice plus money, and the only way to do that would be really an alternative total. But I feel like an over would probably be the only way I can really go in this game.
If you can find a 5.5, I can endorse that. I have this game projected for 6.11 goals. So I could see this game. I see this game should be a 6 rather than a 5.5 if you can find one.
I would try to go after try to find a 7 and get some big plus money.
I know. I was just saying if you can find a 5.5 for normal people out there, I would endorse an over 5.5.
For normal people? Nice.
Yeah, the ones that don't feel the need to have a plus tag in the front of every single hockey plays. They do.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. Pass. Tim bets a total. It's 7.5.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Or it's a 4.5 or an under. Like,
yeah, why not? 4.5, 3.5. Come on, I'm kidding.
All right. Sometimes, Tim, do you have to go swimming with the Sharks sometimes? Let's talk about it. The San Jose Sharks, your San Jose Sharks, take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Minus 160 for them CBJs. Total 6.5 in this one here. Let's take a look at my projections for this one here. I do have Columbus as the favorite in this game. I have them along the lines of 180, 190 range. So I do see a little bit of value here with Columbus for those who want to take a shot with them. I have this game projected for 6.04 goals. So I'm seeing either 6s juiced towards the over or 6.5s. I would endorse a 6.5 under at a reasonable number. That's not a number that I'm getting at the moment, though. I'm seeing 6s really across the board. We have Columbus coming in playing some damn good hockey. 5 in a row, 6 of their last 7. And the only game they've lost in the last 7 games for them was a 5-4 game against a red-hot Detroit Red Wings team. So they've been playing pretty well. San Jose is coming in off of a very satisfying win in their last game. They beat the Detroit Red Wings 6-3, which snapped a 3-game losing streak for them. For me, it's Columbus or nothing on the -1 line. But do I feel the need to lay this type of number with Columbus? No. So it'll just be a lean towards Columbus -1 for me here. I'm seeing mainly sixes. So if you can still find a 6.5, I'd lean under there as well, but not getting involved.
Man, I want to go swimming with the Sharks. I don't think Columbus should be this big of a favorite. Yes, they've been a scrappy team. Yes, they've been playing well, but this is a team that you want to bet as a dog. Not really a team I want to be betting as a favorite, because you look at their win streak, they've won 5 in a row. They were dogs in 4 out of 5 of them. So that's not really a team that I want to be laying. If they're plus money, you bet them. Columbus as a favorite is a no-go for me, Nick. It would be Sharks or nothing for me in this one.
And I can definitely see that argument for people, which I think maybe could have a little bit of value on Columbus, but Columbus has been playing well as of late. So yeah, I could see that, but ultimately, I'm not getting involved because of the price tag.
I'm not laying.
Yeah. And it's also going to be Alexander Georgiev in this game. So, yeah. Sharks money line. Tim's a Sharks fan now. Leaving Buffalo behind.
No. I don't. That's why I was kind of confused when Nick said my Sharks.
I know, I was just messing around. CBJ at this number is a fade. Fully understandable there. I can get behind that. Lean, not passing. Fair. We'll get into the first game that I do have a wager on, and that is between the Washington Capitals and the Ottawa Senators. We have this game pick'em. Slight favorite are the Sens now, -115, with a total of, we're seeing 5.5. I have this game. Wow, actually, I have a play on the side, but I may want to add a little to this total here. I don't have any totals bet yet. I have 4 sides bet. I have the Senators as a -140 favorite in this game. I got him at -105 last night. I'm on Ottawa, and for me, it's maybe it's just stubbornness or whatever people want to call it. The advanced metrics for the Washington Capitals are not that good. I don't know how this team keeps winning games. They're producing in the last 10 games 2.96 expected goals for, 3.42 against. This is a team that is getting outplayed in most of their games. I don't know how they continue to win, though. And this is an Ottawa Senators team. They're coming off of a nice win, a shutout win against the Islanders, 2-0. And this is a Senators team that they're playing pretty good hockey right now. They've won 3 in a row against Pittsburgh, Dallas, and New York, which did snap a 4-game losing streak previous to that. Washington has won 2 in a row. Granted, Nashville and Anaheim. And previous to that, I mean, they're 6-1-3 in their last 10 games. The only game they did not receive points in was a 4-2 loss on the 29th of December against Detroit in Detroit. So at the very least for the Capitals, if they're losing games, it's in overtime. So maybe if you want to do Sens draw split, I won't talk anybody off of that because I could see this game potentially being an overtime game because, God forbid, the Capitals go a game without getting a point. But I'm on the Senators in this game, and I would endorse it up to -120, -125 range with Ottawa in this game. And I kind of want to add the over 5.5 here as well. Because I see this game should have been totaled as a 6 at the very lowest, and getting 5.5 at -110. I'm going to add that as well. Sens Caps over 5.5 -110. I also have the Senators on the money line at -105. I got that last night.
Man, I feel like we've seen this plenty of times though, Nick. Man, why are the Capitals this line, and it just seems like a trap, and this and
I never said seems like a trap.
I know you didn't. But the line, we constantly are seeing the Capitals at this number, and they keep winning. You even said it. Their metrics don't make sense.
You know why that is?
Continue to win. Why?
Because there's no traps in hockey.
Oh, okay.
The market isn't strong enough for there to really be traps in hockey like there is in what was in the NFL and is in the NBA.
Okay. That's fair, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know.
That's why I run my spreads. You realize one thing I never bring up when I cap hockey games is line movement and market. I don't, because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. That's fair. That's fair. It always seems like a trap card or whatever, and I don't know.
That's fair. But yeah, I'm doubled up on the spot now. Ottawa and the over. I am. Here you go. I can't type. Card after the show.
Yes.
Tim,
I'm gonna start typing it up now.
Yep. And good luck. Also, thanks. Yep, I got you. But we'll head to the next one here: the Toronto Maple Leafs and the New Jersey Devils. We have the Devils as -120 road favorites, total of 5.5 in this game. It's another one where now the Devils have been one of these teams, though, that their advanced metrics, they're slipping a little bit. Because the thing I loved about the Devils when I took them to win the Cup, they're slipping now. They're losing expected goal battles. Defensively, they've not been very good. It's been a tricky time for the Devils as of late. No, I'm not giving up on them as my Stanley Cup pick. I understand this team is going to make the playoffs, and I don't know if it really matters what seed they get. Because I think this is a Devils team that can go on the road and win playoff hockey games. I do. They're honestly just as good on the road as they are at home. So there is that. I have this game priced for the Maple Leafs to be slight favorites. I do. Am I moving on it? Not really. Because I don't know how much the Maple Leafs have been good this year. I will give them that. And as for the total, though, there's no way this should be a 5.5. And I get it. The Devils, they've been playing some under hockey as of late. They've actually gone under in 7 straight games. 2-1, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-0, 3-2. Last time they went over the total in a game, it was a 5-2 loss against the Carolina Hurricanes. On the flip side, the Maple Leafs have been a little bit of an under team too as well. They've gone under in 4 of their last 5. And I think this is creating value in the over in this game, because I think stylistically this can lead to some more goals. And at this number, at a 5.5, yeah, I'm going right back to another over here in this one. Over 5.5, -115. I have this game projected at 6.57 goals.
Sorry, I was typing up the card. You know my view on the Leafs. I'm always way too high on the Leafs, especially for your measures, Nick. I'm always way too high on the Leafs, and it's probably going to end up biting me in the ass one day. But Leafs sitting there, pretty much plus money at home. I'm a sucker. I gotta grab them. No, I gotta grab them. Maple Leafs regulation. Could be some nice plus money. I don't know what that. Probably what 150, 160. I'm gonna be a sucker in this.
You think is? I think that would be more along the lines of 110, 115.
The Leafs in regulation?
Oh, the Leafs in regulation. Never mind. I'm thinking the Devils.
Leafs in regulation should be like plus 110 area, plus 150 area.
Yeah, no, that'd be plus 140 area. Yeah.
I'll grab it real quick. Hold on. Scrolling. Regulation 165 on Bovada. I mean, that's where I would jump on this one, Nick. I'm gonna be a sucker for the Leafs again.
There you go. Here's the thing, though, is like you were mentioning with the Capitals last game, the Leafs have been winning these type of matchups.
Exactly.
These trap lines, quote unquote trap lines.
Yep. So that's why I have no problem going after it.
Yeah. So yeah, over 6.5 for me. We will move on to the next game. Anaheim Ducks and Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning minus 300 favorites in this game, total 6 in this one here. Yeah, obviously I have the Lightning as a favorite. In this game, I have them along the lines of 180, 185. I have this game projected for 5.81 goals. Now, does that mean I want to back the Ducks just because I see massive value on them? Not particularly. This has been a Ducks team that they did beat Carolina. This is going to be their fifth game on a 6-game road trip. They will conclude their road trip in Sunrise on the 18th against the Florida Panthers. And this has been a not great road trip for them. They're coming in. Oh, this is a system play, and so is the next game. This will be an over for me. They're coming in off of a 3-0 loss against the Washington Capitals. Last time they came off a loss, they beat the Hurricanes in overtime as 4-1 dogs. So that's kind of an interesting little tidbit there. I'm starting to see some 6.5s out there. I can get 6 at -120 over on Bet365. It's just system play here. The team coming in off of the shutout loss. I'm going to be on the over 6 in this game for me. I did not have any intentions on betting this game, but when I see a system play, I bet the system play. So over for me, over 6.5, -125, Bet365.
I think I'm going to be passing on this game. The Ducks, they come off that big win against Carolina in overtime, and then they go and lose 3-0 to the Capitals. That's definitely not a lot of fun. I am going to end up staying off this one as well with you. There's no real reason for me to want to go after this game. The puck line, there's no value in it. If you're betting anything, unfortunately, the only spot that has value is the Ducks. So I don't really see any reason to go after this game there.
Yeah. Maybe a Ducks team total over if you're interested in the Ducks. I think that might be a little. You'll probably get 2.5 at a decent number, or 1.5, something like that.
If you have to, yeah.
We'll move on to the next game though. No chat at the moment. This is another system play for me. A game that I really didn't have any intentions on getting involved with, but these are just bets that I make. We have the Philadelphia Flyers and the New York Islanders. We have the Islanders as -135 favorites in this game. I'm not betting it because I don't trust Philly on the road, but my numbers have Philly as a favorite in this game. Their advanced metrics have actually been pretty good as of late. They're not getting the results. And maybe if the Islanders were coming in off of another win against Ottawa in their last game, maybe I'd be thinking a little bit more about it. But losing 2-0 in your previous game, I'm not interested in fading you in the next game like that. Philadelphia currently sits fifth in the Met. They were just last in the Met. Just shows how fluid the bottom of the Metropolitan is. The Islanders coming in off of a shutout loss. That's a system play for me. I have this game projected for 5.75 goals. The only thing I got in this game is the over 5.5 at -115. The Islanders had their 3-game winning streak snapped with that loss last game. I think they can get back on the win here. I think the Islanders can get the win in this game, even though my numbers do like the Flyers a little bit because their advanced metrics have been pretty good. They're not getting the results that they probably deserve. And when they do win games, they are covering puck lines other than Florida, but they were a +155 dog in that game. So it'd be, dog or pass for the side. I'm not laying a number with the Islanders. That being said, though, I'm only on the over 5.5.
Yeah, I don't trust the Islanders. Maybe an overtime game, although the Islanders haven't really been going to overtime a whole lot, which is crazy. They've been to overtime one time since December 5th. One time. So no more Thailanders, right, Nick?
Right. They've been winning games in regulation. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I'm not going to go and do anything with Philly. If anything, I feel like this one could be one of your under games. I feel like this one could be a low-scoring game, tight, like a 2-1 type of game, but I don't really feel the need to – I really have to have a good reason to go after a hockey play. I don't have one here.
Fair. I've got on my Sabres hat, jacket, and socks on today, letting the world know not only am I a winner, but I arrive in style. Buffalo for life.
Hey, all I'll say is Buffalo gear is going to work today with a bunch of Canes fans around me. So,
there you go. SOBNJIT is somehow keeping up. There you go. We'll keep it moving. We have 7 more games on the card. The Winnipeg Jets and the Seattle Kraken. Jets minus 215, total 5.5 in this game. Looking at projections, I do have this game projected, obviously. The Jets as a favorite. I have them along the lines of a minus, trying to do math in my head, minus 180 range, and I have this game projected for 6.1 goals. So I see a little bit of an over in this game as well. I don't have the value on the Jets like I did last game. I was leaning Jets last game. Forgot who they played. But this is an interesting they played Vancouver. They won that game 6-1. This is interesting because we have a 5.5, and very rarely is this the case. And I think we'll talk about another game later that's even more tilted towards the under. It's juiced towards the under, only minus 115, but we don't see that often with 5.5s with it juiced towards the under. I kind of lean over in this game. If I'm looking at a side of this one, I think Winnipeg can put up some goals. I don't trust Seattle defensively. They've had 3 of their last 4 games finished 6-2. They lost 6-2 to Buffalo or to Detroit. They beat Buffalo 6-2. They lost to Columbus 6-2. They've gone over 5.5 in 4 straight games. And 9 of their last 10. This has been a Seattle team that's been an over team. I think this is another over. I know I've been continuing to just bet overs, but 5.5. I think we're getting to a point where we're seeing a lot of we saw a lot of unders, and this is the time where overs start to come in. I'll take the over 5.5 at even money in this game. With this, I think this game should be a 6, and it's 5.5 juice towards the under. I'll take a shot here over 5.5 even money here for me.
I feel like it's Kraken or nothing. Winnipeg's coming off a big win. Seattle's coming off of a win against Pittsburgh. They're still on a road trip, though. It's the final game of the Kraken road trip. I don't know if you mentioned that or not. Where they've gone 2-2 so far on the road trip. So it's a meh road trip for them. Although compared to what they've been doing the rest of the year, they've been not half bad. It's a Winnipeg team that I think is currently the best team in hockey in terms of points. It would be Seattle or nothing. I don't really feel like I want to go after this one, though.
Fair. Yeah. For a side perspective, I can see an argument for Seattle just from the price range. There you go. We'll keep on going, though. Calgary Flames and St. Louis Blues, and we reached another game that I already have action on. And 3 of the next 4 games I have action on pre-show. So let's get into it here. The St. Louis Blues and the Calgary Flames. We have the Blues minus 135, minus 140 favorites in this game. Total of 5.5 in this one. Got a little bit of plus money in this game. I'm on the St. Louis Blues minus 1 at plus 117. I got that last night. The Blues, they have kind of struggled a little bit. Actually, they've won 6 of their last 10, but they've lost 3 of their last 5. But this is a Blues team that their advanced metrics are actually pretty strong. 3.29 expected goals for, 2.378 against. So this has been a team that's almost 1 expected goal better than their for than against in their last 10 games. And I have them projected around minus 180 in this game. I'm not high on this Calgary Flames team. On the flip side, Calgary, they're coming in off of, now granted, these 2 teams just played. It was a 2-1 Blues win on the 14th. So, I know people want to make the argument for a short-term revenge. I just see the Blues as a significantly better team at the moment. And Calgary is a team I would rather bet against on the road. They're 7-9-4 on the road this year, and my numbers show some very nice value there for the St. Louis Blues. So I'm going to be on St. Louis here, minus 1, plus 117.
I'm I'm going to stay off this game, but I want to mention something. I don't want to say it's funny. There's been so far in the NHL, Nick, 2 games postponed this year. One of them was in Florida. It was against the Hurricanes. It was because of a hurricane. The second one was the Kings versus the Flames due to a forest fire. So 2 games were canceled due to one of the team's name. Sorry, had to throw that one in. I thought that was interesting. But no, I'm
careful with Canadian teams playing against Colorado later. Got it.
Canadian team playing against Colorado.
It's cold up in Canada and there's avalanches.
I was going to mention a team in Nashville, but we're not going to talk about that. It would be, for me, I would personally look Flames or nothing. I don't really feel, I know it's a short-term revenge, but this is still a Calgary team that I feel like is better than the Blues. And I can get some nice plus money with them on the road. For me, it would be Flames or nothing. But
that's where we disagree. Is I'm not that high on the Flames as you are.
Yeah, that is 100% fair. But I'm going to be more towards the Flames in this one, Nick.
Understandable. Yeah, no, I'm on the opposite side.
Fine.
Arizona already pushing for a hockey team back and talk to the commissioner. Yeah, we kind of expected that because they were just going into a dormant phase. Like the Arizona Coyotes franchise still exists. It's just in dormancy. Is the way that was phrased. So the Coyotes still exist. They just don't roster a team at the moment, and they don't have a home. They're just a team in name only right now. We'll move on. The Nashville Predators taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. We have the Preds as minus 240 favorites. Good God. Total of 6 in this game. Here's the thing. I 100% agree with the Predators being this big of a favorite. And I think the Predators starting the way they did is going to present some value on them going forward. However, this is not the game there's value on them. I have them projected as a minus 220 favorite in this game. But you look at their advanced metrics, they're getting better. The Nashville Predators. 3.74 expected goals for, 3 against over the last 10 games. So this is a team that is playing above average hockey. They're starting to play better, and I think over the next few weeks or whatever, there will be spots to back Nashville. Not as minus 240 favorites in this game, though. That's not going to happen. I have this game projected for 6.33 goals, so slightly a guess towards the over in this one. But this one was one of the easier passes on the card. I think there will be good spots to back Nashville going forward. This is just not one of them.
Correct. And you know me, I've been a sucker on Nashville the entire year. But no, I'm in the same boat as you. Blackhawks, I think they're no, I can't even say anything nice about them. I was going to say they're 3 years away from being 2 years away from being a year away. So, but they are still rebuilding.
The Buffalo Sabres, got it.
You know what? Shut the fuck up. This one's a stay away spot. We'll have to kind of move on from that one.
Fair. Yeah, no, this was one of the easiest passes on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are homeless. Yes, you are. I may have to throw a Maine jersey on the go play for the second half. Maine down to NJIT. Wow.
That game's not looking good towards an over. Maybe we can get overtime.
There you go. I have plays on the next 2 games. So let's get into it here. We have the Montreal Canadiens taking on the Dallas Stars. The Stars minus 225 favorites in this game. Total of 5.5. Now, like we like in the NBA, you have the Pistons. They're a nice little surprise, taking the step up and stuff like that. That's the Montreal Canadiens in the NHL. They've been fun this year, and this is a Montreal team that is playing good hockey. They have won, I think I saw, 7 of their last 10 games. They're 7-0-1 in their last 10 games. Their overtime loss was to this Dallas Stars team. They've also gone to overtime in 4 of their last 5 games. the Utah game snapped a 4-game OT streak for the Montreal Canadiens. Dallas has gone overtime in 3 of their last 6 games and 4 of their last 10. So a draw could be very in play for this game as well, which should kind of point you towards where I'm looking at for this game. I have the Stars as a favorite in this game around -160. I got the Montreal Canadiens last night at +205. Give me Les Habitants in this one here. I think this is an awesome big dog spot. So I have my 2 big dogs for the day. It's Montreal and it's Detroit. I like this. I like the Habs in this spot. I think this is a Canadiens team. I do think after the All-Star break, after the 4 Nations and all that, they'll start to come back down to earth. But until then, this is the spot you want Montreal as a road dog. Let's take a look at their last few games as road dogs. +130 dogs against Utah, winner. +180-85 against Washington, winner. +280 against the Avalanche, winner. +190 against Vegas, winner. +175 against Tampa Bay, winner. +260 against Florida, winner. Their last 6 games as road dogs have resulted in Montreal Canadian wins. I've been on them for a few of those. Going right back to the well here, +205. Les Habitants, Montreal.
I mean, I understand seeing the value in this one. I feel like Montreal, if hockey was a spread sport, they would be the most profitable team against the spread.
26-17 ATS this year.
Yeah. So I definitely see this is a Montreal team that is a step above what I look at Columbus as. A very scrappy team, and they're not going to – I don't think they make the playoffs, but they're going to be one of those teams that are very fun to watch throughout the thing. And I kind of want to say if there's going to be an MLB equivalent to Montreal this year –
to Washington Nationals.
It's the Washington Nationals. But there's definitely a chance for Montreal to make the playoffs, just like I think there's a chance that the Nationals could. But
not this year.
But not this year. Yeah, exactly. Not this year for Montreal.
For Washington either. Like I still think the 6 playoff teams. I mean, 3 from the NL East, 2 from the NL West, and 1 from the NL Central.
Something like that.
So Phillies, Braves, Mets, Reds, Dodgers, Padres.
Something like that. But anyways, I don't mind your look towards Montreal. I feel like that's one of the teams that we kind of would be like backing a bunch.
Yeah, and I think there'll be plenty of spots to back Montreal, especially as road dogs. They've been an awesome road dog.
Yes. Back to the chat.
There's no chat. We haven't had chat for a few games. Everybody's sleeping. Move on. The last game that I had pre-game action on, or pre-show action on, we have the Utah Hockey Club and the New York Rangers. We have the Hockey Club, or it's a pick'em total of 6 in this game. I have this game projected for 6.53 goals. So actually the over does seem a little interesting here for me. But I was looking more at the side than I was the total personally. It would be obviously the over 6. But I'm on Utah in this game. I have this game projected Utah -140 in this game, which I did not think I'd be saying at all this year. But the Rangers do not impress me whatsoever. Now they are coming in. They've received points in 4 straight games, the New York Rangers. They've won 2 of them. They lost in overtime against the Stars. They beat the Devils in overtime. They beat the Vegas Golden Knights. They lost to the Avalanche in overtime. On the flip side, we have Utah coming in on back-to-back losses to the Islanders and the Canadiens. The Canadiens playing pretty well right now. And they have lost 8 of their last 10 games, 4 of their last 5. But I like this spot for Utah. They've had a day off after the Montreal loss. This is their 5th game of an 8-game or 7-game homestand. And on the flip side, this is the Rangers' last game of a West Coast road trip. They went to Vegas, Colorado, and they're finishing it off with Utah before they head home to play Columbus. So they have an out-of-conference game, last game on the road. They get to head back home. They get a day off tomorrow before they play Columbus on the 18th. I see line value with the hockey club in this one here. I'm on Utah in this game.
Hey, any day the Rangers lose is a good day, right?
Absolutely.
I can definitely see the appeal. I would kind of want to go puck lining them if I was going to go after it. I'm not really I know it's a big card, but there wasn't a lot of spots that kind of jumped out to me today, which is fine. I'm not going to I don't need to be betting a lot of hockey. Not my strong suit, especially when there's a bunch of college basketball going on today. And the next couple of days in general. But I wouldn't hate going after the Coyotes here, but not really anything I need to go with.
Fair. Need the Black Bears. There you go. They won in overtime 6-5. Rangers all day.
Rangers all day. Interesting.
Black Bears playing like garbage. BS NJIT down there at half 26-23. I mean, that's still well within range. Like, come on. Unless they're, what was I don't remember the spread for that game though.
I personally don't remember the spread. Let's see. It was Maine was a 10-point favorite.
There it is. Okay, we'll move on. I forgot to punch in last night's numbers for Edmonton, Minnesota, to complete the cap on this game. But we have the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Edmonton Oilers. This is the second half of a back-to-back for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, they played the Minnesota Wild last night in Minnesota. They won the game 5-3. It was not the most convincing win for them. They were down 2-0 early, and they tied it up in the first period after being down 2-0. So pour one out to the people who had Wild first period money line in that game, because you guys should have won that bet. Instead, you pushed, which I know it was probably very frustrating. And I believe this game was 3-3 at the end of the second period as well. And just the Oilers took over late, which made sense with all the injuries the Minnesota Wild had, especially on the blue line. No Spurgeon, no Faber, and no. Forgot there was. I think there was one other one. It was Faber, it was Middleton, and it was Brodin that they were without. I have the Oilers as a favorite in this game, but I don't want to trust them on a second half of a back-to-back. But it would be a 10 or nothing for me in this game. But I do think this is a tough spot for them. They go from Minnesota to Colorado, which isn't the worst travel situation, but then you have to go to altitude. Just not the greatest of scheduling spots for Edmonton. But I do think there's line value with Edmonton, and this line's continued to move towards Edmonton because now I'm seeing -115 for Colorado. But Oilers playing their third game in 4 nights, and a second half of a back-to-back with travel, altitude, just not a spot I'm interested in getting involved with at all. So no play here for me in this one.
It's Avalanche puck line or nothing. I think it's a bad spot, horrible spot for the Oilers. Because I feel like I know in the beginning of the season, back-to-backs meant nothing. I feel like at this point of the year, the players might start to feel it.
See, for me, it's not the back-to-back that worries me. It's the third game in 4 days that I don't like as much. With the altitude.
With the altitude. But I do feel like in the beginning of the year, you looked at it, back-to-backs, not a big deal. I think starting now to the next, month is when players are really going to start feeling the back-to-backs. And when it comes to it, I feel like they start feeling the back-to-back, especially 3 games in 4 days, especially going into altitude. I think this is a really good spot for Colorado. I would take their puck line at plus around 200. I feel like that's good. That's a good spot. So Colorado puck line for me.
Yeah, I mean, I won't talk you off of it. It's just one of those where my spreadsheet and situationals clash, and it's just not one I need to get involved with. It'd be a hell of a game to watch.
Should be.
10. Yep. They're 10-point favorites. Yep. I never thought somebody would talk so much about Maine versus NJIT before.
Isn't it beautiful?
But yeah, final game of the card, Tim. The LA Kings and the Vancouver Canucks. -115 for the Kings. Total of 5.5 in this game. This was one that I was kind of hinting at earlier when we saw, what game was it? I believe it was the Jets game that was 5.5, slightly juiced towards the under. This game feels like we could see a 5 as the total in this one. Because it is 5.5, and the over on BetMGM is +115. I have this game projected for 5.525 goals, so basically 5.5 goals. I have this game projected for the Kings to be around 120, 125 favorites in this game. So I would slightly lean towards the LA Kings. They've been a nice little surprise this year, the Kings, a team that I have a piece of under point total in the midst of playoffs. And they've been a sneaky little team, including just unbeatable at home. They're 14-2-1 at Crypto.com Arena. They're 10-10-4 on the road. But this is also this would be a more interesting matchup if this was Canucks at Kings, because the Kings don't lose at home. The Canucks are more dominant on the road, which actually that's slowed down a little bit. They're now 12-6-4 on the road. But they're 7-8-6 at home. So this is a team that is 7-14 on the money line at home. The Canucks, the team I'd rather fade at, and this is their first game back after a 5-game road trip, and they will host the Oilers and the Sabres coming up after that. Kings are nothing for me, and if this drops down to a 5, I might have to take a stab on the over 5. That might have to be a play. Are we seeing any 5s out there? Doesn't look like it. But if they drop this down to a 5, which I find it hard pressed that they will, because there's something you rarely see with totals. ESPN Bet has the under 5.5 at -145. I think if they were going to drop it down to a 5, they would have already. So I have a feeling this is a spot where they're just going to keep juicing the under 5.5 to avoid moving it to a 5 type of thing. But if they drop a 5 on this game, I might bet the over.
Do you want to see me bet a total?
You're going to bet like under 3.5, aren't you?
I couldn't find a 3.5. I got 4.5 at 2-1.
Nice.
Under 4.5 goals at +200. I'm going to end up starting to, because my plays don't go up on the site, I'm going to start putting up my hockey plays up on Twitter. Just to have a little bit of fun with it. Starting today, I'll start putting them up each day. Kind of to try to really get my hockey kind of rolling again. Because I know I kind of been slacking off a little bit about it. So I'm going to start putting up an NHL card.
There you go.
So let's roll.
Yeah. But that is everything for today's card. That's all for the comment section there. Yeah. So that's the full card, Tim.
There you go. That's going to do it for the show. If you guys are interested, I will be posting the card as soon as Nick puts up his hockey plays. All that will be available for member only, along with free pick videos early every day, and a little bit of the spreadsheet every single day, which I will start. I'm probably just gonna stay home because I work at 2:30 today. I'm gonna start working on the spreadsheet for the next 2 nights. That's gonna be my mission from now until then. But all that will be done soon. If you guys are interested in becoming a member of the YouTube channel. That's going to do it for this edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. We'll be back again with another one tomorrow. Peace out, guys.